We need to talk about the history of the expulsion of Albanians in the Balkans throughout history. This has happened multiple times at the hands of Serbians. And ultimately, this helps explain a lot of the conflict and a lot of the tension between Albanians and Serbians in Kosovo and Serbia. The main time period we're going to talk about is 1877 to 1878. But I want to go back and just set a little context first. So before 1877, in the lands of the territory that was Toplica and Sonjak of Niš, lived predominantly Muslim Albanians. And this was during the Ottoman Empire rule when most Albanians converted to Islam. And so this population lived here and predates Serbian control of that area. So in December 15, 1877, when Serbia rejoined the war against the Ottoman Empire, they took Toplica and they took Sonjak of Niš. And the local Albanians that were there first had to flee into the mountains. They basically left with the clothes on their back. They didn't take any property or any cattle. And in the winter, that winter of 1877, going into 1878, a mass expulsion of Albanians began. And this was a violent expulsion of Albanians. They burned down the Albanian quarter in Niš. They destroyed the mosques in that area. And it's estimated that around 49,000, that's the minimum number, to about 130, maybe to 160,000 Albanians were ethnically cleansed from the area and displaced. And it's believed about 35,000 Albanians died in Kosovo due to being exposed to the winter elements. Mind you, they had to journey in the winter to get away to save their own lives. Yeah, and just to be clear, these Albanians were displaced and forced to go to Kosovo. These thousands of people went to Kosovo, but they were actually going back to our ancestral land because that's where we came from. I'm going to do a separate video on this man named Vaso Čubilović, who basically admits that Serbia are the colonists and Albanians are the indigenous people. What's wild to me is that Serbia basically expelled people from lands and moved them into Kosovo. And then in the 1990s, we're so upset that there's so many Albanians in Kosovo that they tried to ethnically cleanse the Albanians there by using brute force, which comes from the advice of that Vaso Čubilović. So in essence, Serbia created their own problem, all because they want land that was never really theirs. Even though they had political control of it for a while, it wasn't actually theirs. I honestly believe they just hate us and they dehumanize us because we were there first. This is already well-documented history and there's no real debate, although they're going to debate it anyway, but there's no debate. Check out my most recent post on valdetspeaks.com to learn more.